Well, good afternoon. Before we get started, I just want to introduce you to another member of the family. And this is Hannah, and she is a chartreuse, and actually she will be assisting us. I figure if Amy can have Nebo, thanks Hannah. I figure if Amy can have Nebo kind of chime in, I guess I could have Hannah make a cameo. But anyway, yes, it's another Sunday afternoon. Gotta go pick up my suit from the cleaners episode. Actually from Men's Warehouse. Just had to buy a new navy suit. Another fun-filled, fact-finding episode of Brother Mark, Turner Syndrome, Butterflies in Life. I think this message though might really, let's see for a second. Blind corner, so give me a moment. Made it. Anyway, another episode. I think though this might benefit anybody who deals with nonverbal learning disabilities. And I know a lot of different people suffer from. I suffer from it myself. I've been officially diagnosed. Boy, when I look at some of the characteristics, boy, I wish I knew more about it when I was growing up. I think it would have really given me a lot more clarity and saved a lot more grief. I sometimes notice though that, and this is true with me, that I will misread something and I'll come with a faulty assumption, and before I got some degree of recovery and understanding, I would react to it, and sometimes almost violently. And sometimes, not all, but sometimes I see butterflies kind of do that. That's understandable. I mean, a lot of us have been so much attacked by teachers and bullies that a lot of us are naturally in a defense mechanism. I can buy that. I think one good butterfly sister though said, Mark, this is something that we sisters got to work out. And I said, you're right. So I think I could offer some observations of what, and for my own life, and then I will actually defer to an epileptic that I dated. We'll call her Danielle. And today Danielle and I, this happened decades ago, but we've talked about it. We can laugh about it. Actually, we've now kind of made for a long time actually made a comedy routine out of a learning disability, and how sometimes the ability to process stuff shorts out, and sometimes has some disastrous effects, and sometimes can create a lot of grief. So I'll tell you a story. And I know I have Danielle's permission. We've talked about it, and so I think at this point, sadly to say, the last time I heard from her, that her epilepsy got so bad that last time I'd heard she was confined to a nursing home. So I had not heard anything more since. That was kind of really too bad. She really was talented. She may have been on the verbal edge. Boy, she had a sharp sense of humor, and she was a hard worker. Sometimes she sometimes beat herself up and sold herself short. But one time, I'm going to take a story and I'm going to kind of share it in slow motion. And maybe you want to grab a piece of paper and write it down. And some people may not be able to get it, and that's okay. If you can't, that's fine. But I was in one town. I was taking Greyhound bus back. I was actually in Athens, Ohio, and I was traveling back to Cincinnati. So I called. Back in those days, we actually had calling cards. Anybody remember calling cards? Calling collect? So I used my ATT calling card. So now I'm really dating myself. And I said, okay, my bus will arrive in Cincinnati at 9:30. Oops, I gotta leave, my bus is leaving. Okay. So once again, I said, my bus is leaving right now. I'll be in Cincinnati at 9:30 for you to pick me up. Danielle immediately misread the information. No fault of her own. Epileptics sometimes do have seizures in which their memory shorts out. And sometimes they'll misread information. And now that I kind of know about it, I mean, at first it just drove me absolutely stark, staring bonkers, and yeah, I hate to say it was the source of many a fight. Once I kind of put the situation in slow motion, then I went, oh, okay, now I see what's going on. So, once again, I'm leaving Athens. My bus comes to Cincinnati at 9:30. Oh, my bus is leaving now, gotta go. Now, instead, Danielle misread the information and immediately went to the Greyhound station and was mad. Just a second. That was one bunched up intersection. Oh, well. But Danielle was mad that he wasn't at the bus station. And then when my bus came in at 9:30, I was mad that Danielle didn't show up. Where is she? What happened? Did she have a seizure? Is she in the hospital? What, you can imagine things that was kind of going through my mind. Alright, anyway, so somehow she misread the information and she went angry and she went on the defensive. Somehow her learning abilities shorted her out and she misread the information through no fault of her own. Now, as time went on, we kind of talked about it and we figured out how it worked and what we did, and actually we kind of made a really hilarious game of it. You'd have to see it. I mean, I can't describe it, but it was a brilliant piece of comedy that only Danielle could cook up, where we would go in excruciating detail about how to do something and where to meet. It also got to the point that we did everything in military time. To the day, theoretically, if I were to come into Cincinnati, I would say my bus arrives at 21:30 hours. Otherwise, she would show up at 9:30 in the morning. So, but I made accommodations. So there is a tendency to want. I know for me, there's a tendency to want to beat myself up when I do it. I can't help it. You know, I'm wired to misread information. Traffic is something else today. But anyway, so I have to not, beat myself up if I misread a piece of information and then react to it. The number one slogan I heard in Alcoholics Anonymous in Dallas was act, don't react. Or A radio station I worked at many years ago had a sign in the production studio which said, "At all times, engage brain before using tongue." Not a bad piece of advice. Now, if only I would heed it, oh boy, I'd be a millionaire. You know, such luck. Okay. So sometimes I've seen a tendency to misread stuff. I misread stuff. I come up with faulty conclusions. And I think even one other good sister had to realize I need to stop, think, and pause. Now, this is something that a butterfly is going to want to handle. That's going to be something you're going to want to do. Some people are going to look at me and say, "Mark, we've heard it, go jump in a lake." But actually, it's nice warm weather today. I probably wouldn't mind going for a dip. Oh well. Yeah, what can I say? Words and English prophets in Espanol. What I've done is I've kind of put things into slow motion. And I look at the information. I think in the case of Danielle, I think she actually kind of figured out, okay, because of my epilepsy, sometimes I misread information. Okay. And I've seen that with other butterflies. All butterflies? No. Not all. Some? Yeah. So what I would so this is an inside job. This is something that anybody hearing the video is going to want to do something about. I mean, they're going to have to recognize, yeah, I misread stuff. I come to faulty conclusions, and the results are disastrous. Just last week, I literally went to fisticuffs with somebody on Facebook. And the topic was riding the California Zephyr, the Amtrak train in Colorado. I misread where it was coming from. Fortunately, I stopped and realized he was joking around. The first time, though, I was about ready to, beat his face in. Yeah, guilty as charged. You know, I'll own it. I won't let it own me, and I'm not going to walk around with a paper bag over my head. Thank you, Hannah. Hannah knows how to put words in edgewise. Right, Hannah? Okay. Chartreuse know how to speak their mind. Don't ever cross a chartreuse. Trust me on that one. Yeah. I will say about chartreuse that they are wonderful companions. So, if you have a few $100 to spare, take them, Brother Mark. Get a chartreuse. You won't regret it. Okay. That commercial over. So I've had to learn, act, don't react. I've had to assess the information, and before I react, I think to borrow from another brother in a 12-step program, I have to kind of go frame by frame by frame, as if I were looking over a film. Go, okay. Sometimes I have to slow down my responses sometimes. Otherwise, I could jump to conclusions. And we all know the definition of assume. making an equus africana asunus of you and me. Sad. I'm gonna keep it PG. You know what I mean. Aren't our character defects wonderful sometimes? We have, if we can't laugh at ourselves and our own frailty, what can we do sometimes? Well, butterflies, do you recognize it? Do you catch it? If you don't, if you think I should go jump in the lake, okay, I will, and I'll take a nice dip and cool, and then cool off. Some people are going to think that way. That's okay. I can't change your mind. Some, I can honor this one. I don't know, Mark. Let me talk to some other butterflies about it. Maybe we can compare notes. I can buy that. It's within the realm possibility that maybe, yeah, you know, I have done that. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. What can I do? I know there's some butterflies that are starting to recognize, oops, and they want to do something. And my own wisdom is find out people who've had success in it. Maybe admitting, you know, my overreacting, my misprocessing information, I'm misreading stuff. This is getting a little crazy. Okay, I can buy that. Excuse me, I'm stuck behind a bus in tons of traffic. And Morse Road traffic can be quite unforgiving. Oh well. So, take what you like. Leave the rest. It's up to you. If you're the jump in the lake, maybe come back to it later. Maybe make a mental note of it. Maybe, yeah, I have done that. Yeah, I have seen it. I will say one thing, though, I can speak from experience. For those who recognize, oops, first off, please, pretty please, with sugar and top, don't beat yourself up. Please, I beg of you. Remember, and I have to remind myself of this too, just because I made a mistake does not mean I am one. What can I learn from this? What's really going on? And then how can I help others? Well, take what you like, leave the rest, talk among yourselves, and if you're part of that group, my thoughts and prayers is that there will be some healing and some growth, and oh man, the things that could happen in the Turner Syndrome community for those who recognize it, say, yeah, I want to do something better about it. Oh boy, the miracles that could happen. Hard work, but it's worth it. So, you have my thoughts, you have my prayers, you have my support, and anybody else who might be listening, but I don't have Turner Syndrome. All right, but you know, Mark, I do kind of struggle with this, and I appreciate the information. That's for you too. And if it helps, it's something you can take a look at. Okay, I do my job at the time. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, Anna, do you have anything else to say? Nope. Okay, good. All right. Well, in that case, we'll sign off.